Hello everyone, welcome to I Just React and Review. My name is Ashmita and I hope you all are doing well. And yes, right now I will be talking about the latest Malayalam theatrical release, Marakkar, Arabikadalinte, Simham, directed by Priyadarshan and starring Mohanlal in the titular role. I think a lot of us have been very excited for the release of this film, including me. So yes, let's just deep dive into this review. As usual, I want to start with the writing and direction of the film. Now, this is the biggest area of concern for me. The story highlights the events in the life of Kunyali Marakkar the Fourth. Now, of course, we know that there isn't a lot of material available in the public records on him. So Priyadarshan obviously had to rely a lot onto his own vision of what Kunyali Marakkar would be like. Plus, I know that this is Priyadarshan's dream project and it's not like the idea came to him fairly recently. The thought of making this saga was already conceptualized in his mind, I think almost 2 decades or more than 2 decades back. So honestly, this was a great opportunity for him to present an iconic figure like Marakkar the Fourth to the audience and make this character so legendary that it becomes etched in our memories. But I honestly feel that Priyadarshan missed out the mark somewhere and the opportunity got somewhat wasted here. For me, when I am walking into the theater knowing that this is going to be a 3-hour film, knowing that this movie is based on a real person, knowing that this movie covers a very important aspect of our country's history. Knowing all of this, the basic thing, the most primary thing that I expect the movie to offer me is a connect with the characters. I want to see character development. I want to see relationship and dynamics between two characters develop to the point where I feel invested emotionally, be it a positive emotion or a negative emotion. This very basic aspect of emotionally being invested for a character, like loving a character or hating a character, sympathizing or empathizing with a character, that was missing for me. And I think inclusion of too many subplots in the film ruined this. Once again, I love subplots, nothing against it really, but when I feel that it is not doing anything for the film in a larger scheme of things, then it feels completely unnecessary. Of course, I will not delve into any spoilers because the movie just came out, but the storyline is not only highlighting or showcasing the life of Marakkar the Fourth and the battles he won and all of that. No, that is not the only thing. But there are many other plots, like we see internal politics that happens within a kingdom. There is another plot of course, the Portuguese invasion. Then we have betrayals, one party betraying the other. There are way too many betrayals that happen in the film. But the problem is that with all of these subplots running along with the main plot, the cohesiveness is missing somewhere. In fact, when one party is betraying the other, I don't feel the shock. I don't feel angry. When I see the Portuguese invasion, I don't feel angry. I just don't feel emotionally connected to the characters, and that has been the biggest issue for me. And it has to do a lot with incohesive writing. Just think that on paper how interesting it looks, that along with Marakkar's storyline, you have this whole angle of internal politics within the kingdom where people are disagreeing with each other or coming to a consensus. Plus, parallelly, you have this threat from the Portuguese that they are trying to invade this region. On paper, it looks so interesting, engaging, and you would think that the movie, of course, if made in a grand scale, is gonna look so epic. But, I mean, yeah, somewhere it missed the mark. I think the only characters which invoke some emotion in me is, of course, Marakkar, which is played by Mohanlal, the main character, and Anandan's character, and their little friendship. But that's all. While watching this film, I could understand that, yes, as a director, how Priyadarshan would have wanted this movie to look and feel like that what his vision was. But when it came to individual character developments, I think he missed the bullseye over there. Now, when it comes to the edit of the film, I honestly did not mind the pacing at all. I was totally fine with the pacing, be it the first half or the second half of the movie. After I finished watching the film, I went to Twitter to see what are the early reactions of the film, and a lot of people were complaining about the slow pace of the movie. But truth be told, I really did not find any issues with the pacing. Because you have included so many characters and so many subplots, you have to give that breathing space and develop those scenes. Otherwise, the conclusion would fall completely flat. So for me, the disappointment has a lot to do with the writing then the editing. Oh, and I have to talk about this amazing experience that I had while watching the film. That was Lalita's entry sequence. So the transition from Pranav Mohanlal to Mohanlal, that scene is written so well and executed so well on screen. And the moment he appeared on screen, the moment Mohanlal appeared on screen, the entire theater erupted into applause and whistling. And it was a really nice moment. It was a really nice moment. It made me so happy. And I really wish to experience it. I'm so glad I did. Now, the places where this movie hits the bullseye. Number 1, the VFX. Number 2, the costume design. Number 3, the set design. And number 4, cinematography. These 4 aspects are absolutely top notch. Siddharth Priyadarshan and his entire team who overlooked the VFX for 14 months, they really deserve a round of applause because it was fantastic. All the awards and accolades that this team has garnered for their VFX job, it's absolutely justified. That whole entire sea war sequence in the film is so stunning. It's so stunning. I couldn't believe that this was all VFX. It was so well done. Now, the amazing VFX coupled with great cinematography, costume design, set design, all of these things came in together so beautifully to make this movie a visual treat. Now, I know that this movie is made within the estimated budget of 100 crores. And for the final war sequence, usually what happens in big war sequences is that most of the viewers, at least, would like to see more aerial shots or wide angle shots because you want to see the battle properly. You want to see where both the warriors, like both the parties, are fighting each other, running towards each other, and the sword fighting, the artillery fighting. You want to see clear wide angle shots. But here you will witness more close-up shots. I don't know if the decision was taken because of the budgetary constraint, because you need a lot of VFX to do that also, especially when there is a blast happening, the walls of the fort falling down. So those require really, really high budget. But nonetheless, I was very happy with the cinematography overall. The sea battle for me is my favorite cinematography moment because that entire sequence has been choreographed and shot so well. It looks fantastic. I really wanted the sea battle to be the finale. That would have been such a grand finale. But yeah, that sequence happens in the first half. But nonetheless, it was brilliant to watch. Now, when it comes to the action choreography, action stunts, there is this one sword fight sequence between Anandan and one more character, Chinali. Oh man, that was amazing. Now, the stunt sequences involving Lalita, specifically like the sword fighting, a lot of close-up shots are there, which is understandable. I understand why, though it is always more engaging when you see the full frame of the warrior fighting because it makes for a much more better visual experience. But I think how the stunts were coordinated with the camera work, it works. At the end of the day, it worked for me. For music of this movie, I honestly have mixed feelings. There's one song from the album I like, Kunya Kunyali, and there is a song in the film where people are talking about Marakkar's, how he looks and the folklore involving Marakkar. So that song was also nice. The other tracks from this album are pretty much forgettable. Now, lastly, the performances, and before I talk about it, I feel so many actors got wasted. Like, for example, Sunil Shetty, Kirti Suresh, Innocent, Mamu Koya. Really, I was really disappointed. Pranav Mohanlal was decent. I wouldn't say he blew my mind away. I mean, his screen presence was good. It was nice. And yeah, he has a charm. He has a charm in him, which probably, I will be looking forward to his future films. And we'll see how it goes. Manju Warrier's character is, she actually has an important role. She is important to the plot, somewhat, I feel. But again, the character was not developed properly, and I just feel that even her performance got wasted. Arjun Sarja as Anandan really impressed me. I mean, he was standing apart. He was standing apart in the crowd for me. He really held his own, whatever screen time he got, and whenever he was appearing on screen, I was enjoying his performance. In fact, the actor Ashok Selvan, who plays Anandan's younger brother Achyutan, he was also really good, and both these actors have very, very contrasting personalities as brothers, so that gave some really good screen moments. Zamuran, played by Nerumadi Venu, and Mangatachan, played by Harish Peradi, they are such important characters to the storyline, but like I said, I just did not feel any emotional connect with them, and they are the main supporting characters in the film, and it's not like they didn't act well or anything. I just didn't have any connect with them. The biggest disappointment were the foreign actors. I mean, I have to say it. Especially the actor who played Francisco de Gama. Oh my god, he was so over the top, and that evil laugh was really funny. I mean, it's supposed to be evil, but I was finding it so funny. I mean, it's the very stereotypical trope which you see in a commercial cinema villain, that the dialogues has to be said in an over dramatic way, and you have to give this devilish grin, you have to give this devilish stare, and all of those cliched things. I don't know why that decision was taken to portray the Portuguese like that. I mean, yes, show them as dictators, but have them act a little bit realistically. For example, okay, not really a spoiler, but I want to talk about this one scene where Francisco de Gama's character, he is killing a person, and he's saying all these dialogues and something like I am god and all of that. And that scene is supposed to be brutal. It's supposed to make you hate this guy. It's supposed to instill some sort of fear and hatred and something inside of you. I was just finding it so funny. I was like, what is he doing? Why is he acting like this? So yeah, the foreign actors were a big disappointment. Then finally coming to our beloved Lalita, I swear he's the saving grace of this film. And like I had guessed, his acting is very, very restrained, controlled, not very over the top. I mean, he knows his craft. He knows his craft. Whenever a certain emotion needs to get projected, he really, really does it through his eyes, and there is no doubt that he just nails it every time. But no matter how good of an actor you are or a performer you are, if the character given to you is not written properly, then you can't 100% fully save the film. And yes, for the audiences who love Lalita and wanted him to have all the whistle-worthy, massy moments, those are missing. Those are definitely missing, except one or two moments. But that's fine with me. Even if the movie does not have those moments, I really don't mind. I'm okay either way. But for me, the titular character needs to have a certain sense of nuance, which was missing for me. So yeah, if I have to describe this movie, I would say it's a one-time watch, decent, a great visual experience in the theaters. Like, I was literally blown away with how beautiful the movie looked. And it's above average for me, strictly above average. So in terms of rating, I would go with somewhere around 6.5 out of 10. And yes, probably a lot of you might be a little unhappy with this review video, and if you have enjoyed this film 100% fully, then good for you, good for you. It's not like I did not enjoy watching it. I also enjoyed it. It's just that I just could not agree with certain subplots in the film, which I thought could have been just eliminated altogether. So yeah, so if you have enjoyed everything that was in the movie, then great. I just gave you my absolute honest thoughts of what I felt after watching the film. So yes, that's where I'll end the review here, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you thought about what after watching this film, the pros, cons, whatever it is. Please share them in the comments below. And yes, I will end the review here, and I'll sign off now, and I'll see you soon on my next video. Bye!